Imagine disappearing without a trace in a world filled with cameras, satellites, DNA technology, and artificial intelligence. In 2026, investigators can unlock phones, scan oceans with sonar, and solve crimes decades later using microscopic evidence. And yet, some of the world's most famous mysteries remain completely unsolved. No arrests, no answers, no closure. Tonight we're looking at 5 disturbing cases that investigators still can't solve in 2026. And trust me, some of these cases become stranger the deeper you go. Number 5. The man who vanished inside a bar. Brian Schaffer. On the night of April 1st, 2006, 27-year-old medical student Brian Schaffer went out drinking with friends in Columbus, Ohio. Nothing unusual. Brian had exams coming up, he was under stress, and he wanted one night to relax. At around 1:15 a.m., security cameras captured Brian entering a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloona. But here's where things get terrifying. Cameras never captured him leaving. Police reviewed the footage over and over again. Everyone else who entered the bar that night eventually exited, except Brian. It was as if he simply vanished into thin air. Investigators searched everywhere. The building, the surrounding streets, dumpsters, construction sites, even nearby waterways. Nothing. No body. No phone activity, no bank usage, no confirmed sightings. Some theories say Brian intentionally disappeared to start a new life. Others believe he somehow exited through a construction area unseen by cameras. But many investigators admit one chilling fact. There's still no evidence explaining what actually happened. And nearly 20 years later, Brian Schaffer remains missing. But if that case sounds impossible, the next one involves an entire airplane. Number 4. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, March 8, 2014. 239 people board Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. The plane takes off from Kuala Lumpur, heading toward Beijing. Then, it disappears. Not gradually. Not after sending distress calls. It simply vanishes from radar. At first, air traffic controllers assumed there was a technical issue. But hours passed, then days, then weeks. No plane, no survivors, nothing. The disappearance triggered one of the largest search operations in human history. Ships, military aircraft, deep-sea sonar teams. Entire governments became involved. And investigators soon discovered something disturbing. The aircraft appeared to deliberately change course before disappearing. Someone in the cockpit may have manually redirected the plane, but why? To this day, pieces of debris believed to belong to MH370 have washed up across the Indian Ocean. But the main wreckage has never officially been found. And in 2026, investigators still cannot fully explain what happened to the aircraft, or the 239 people on board. Some believe it was pilot suicide, others suspect hijacking, and some theories online become far darker than that. But the truth, still missing beneath the ocean. Now, the next case became one of the most talked about mysteries on the internet. And it started with a hotel elevator video. Number 3. Elisa Lam. In 2013, 21-year-old Canadian student Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. At first, everything seemed normal. But after several days, Elisa suddenly disappeared. Her parents became worried when she stopped calling home. Then, police released security footage from inside one of the hotel elevators, and the video terrified the internet. In the footage, Elisa behaves erratically. She presses multiple buttons, steps in and out of the elevator, looks down the hallway as if someone is following her, then begins making strange hand movements. The elevator doors refuse to close. Days later, hotel guests began complaining about low water pressure and a strange taste coming from the taps. Maintenance workers checked the hotel's rooftop water tanks, and inside one of them, they found Elisa's body. The case exploded online. People created theories involving paranormal activity, stalking, secret experiments, and even supernatural forces connected to the hotel itself. Eventually, authorities ruled her death an accidental drowning connected to a bipolar episode. But many people still believe important questions were never answered, especially because of the eerie elevator footage. Even now, more than a decade later, the video continues to disturb millions of people online. But the next mystery might be the most famous unidentified criminal case in American history. Number 2. D.B. Cooper. Thanksgiving Eve, 1971. A man using the name Dan Cooper boards a Boeing 727 carrying a briefcase. During the flight, he calmly hands a note to a flight attendant. The note says he has a bomb. He demands $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Authorities comply. After receiving the money, Cooper orders the plane back into the air. Then somewhere above the dark forests of the Pacific Northwest, he opens the rear staircase and jumps out of the plane into the stormy night with the money. And he's never seen again. No confirmed body, no confirmed identity, no arrest. The FBI spent decades investigating the case. Hundreds of suspects were examined, but nobody could definitively prove who D.B. Cooper really was. Years later, a small portion of the ransom money was discovered buried near a riverbank, but that only deepened the mystery. Did Cooper survive the jump, or did he die somewhere deep in the wilderness? More than 50 years later, nobody knows. And finally, the case many people believe may never be solved. Number 1. The Zodiac Killer, Northern California, late 1960s. A serial killer begins terrorizing communities. But this killer wasn't just committing murders. He was playing games with police. The man called himself the Zodiac. After attacks, Zodiac mailed cryptic letters and coded messages to newspapers. Some of the ciphers were eventually solved. Others remain unsolved to this day. In one letter, Zodiac claimed responsibility for multiple murders and mocked investigators for failing to catch him. The public became obsessed. Who was he? How did he avoid capture? And was he responsible for more murders than authorities realized? Over the decades, investigators examined countless suspects. Some people believed it was Arthur Lee Allen. Others pointed to completely different men. DNA testing, handwriting analysis, and forensic technology all failed to provide a definitive answer. And despite all modern advances, the Zodiac Killer has never officially been identified. Imagine that. One of the most infamous serial killers in history, still unknown in 2026. What makes these cases so disturbing isn't just the mystery. It's the fact that we live in a world where almost everything leaves evidence. Phones track us. Cameras watch us. DNA solves decades-old crimes. And yet, these cases remain completely unsolved. Which one disturbed you the most? And which mystery do you think will finally be solved someday? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more strange, dark, and mysterious stories. Because the deeper you look into these cases, the stranger they become.